we are here to talk, of course, about
Movie 2.
I know, it's exciting.
It is. I'm so sorry we're not in New Zealand premiering this film. I know, but I've got a feeling next year is going to be the big party. So.
Look, how was Wellington for you last year? It was a crazy, crazy day,
Again,
wasn't it?
I mean, the whole experience has been unforgettable, but that premiere, I mean, it's my first real big premiere. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And
the whole country turns out.
They do,
Yeah.
and I see why, because it's, you know, this movie is so important to New Zealand, and everyone's got an investment in it somehow.
Yeah, we have it pretty close to our heart with
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings and now The Hobbit. So thank you for delivering it to us in
Wow.
such
Thank you for
stunning
having us
style.
play in your great country.
Thorin, he's not a very trusting fellow, is he?
Well, no, I think he is probably slow to trust. I think he's been deceived in the past. I think the evidence of hoping to be supported by fellow beings, for example, Thranduil, you know, and having Thranduil turn his back on him means that Thorin is bereft of trust, I would say. So yeah, I mean, that's part of his evolution in movie 2, particularly with regards to Bilbo, is that change in him that he begins to accept Bilbo as an asset rather than as a liability. And that requires him looking at himself and questioning his values.
What defines him as a leader, would you say?
I think exactly that.
Right.
I think that he has, or is finding the ability to suggest to himself that he might be wrong. And I think that very simple idea that, you know, no matter how tenacious your ideas are and how tenacious your character is, if you can look at yourself and say, I might be wrong about this person or this event or this pledge, then I open my mind and potentially become a better person and definitely a better king.
Because you've got a lot of lives that you're kind of in control of, and depending on that, you're laying on the line, not just your own.
Yeah, and it requires a certain strength of mind to be driven and not be kind of flaky. But in order to achieve what he needs to achieve, he's got to open up and accept this assistance from his fellow dwarves, and particularly from Bilbo.
Exactly. Well, he had his butt saved a time or two by that fabulous little
on
Hobbit.
every occasion.
It's true.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the shoot. I honestly say this, I've ever seen a more beautifully choreographed scene than that river scene with you guys bobbing down in those barrels. Amazing to watch on the big screen. Quite a physical role for you. Did you embrace that side of this character in the films?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of an unknown quantity, really. We didn't know how far we were going to be asked to work, so training for it was hard. It became the most challenging in movie 3, which you'll see and we'll talk about next year. But
you can't say that, we've got a whole year to wait till that.
But there were moments in movie 2 where I found myself on my knees, unable to stand up and do another take, and then you somehow find yourself on your feet doing it again. And that's what Peter does, is he pushes you to extremes. I think he's asking a lot of his actors, and we ask a lot of ourselves, but it's because he's pushing boundaries for himself in the technology and in, you know, the design and the sound. So we all rise to the challenge because he raises the bar.
Exactly. So a life-changing experience for you, New Zealand and The Hobbit?
You know, simply going to New Zealand alone, for anyone, I think would be life-changing. But to make this movie in that place is you know, intensely life-changing.
It was wonderful to have you. Thank you. What
Thank
a lovely
you.
interview.
See you next year.